Greetings and welcome to our daily Devo for Wednesday, the 7th of June. Wednesday, the 7th of June. We are in Jericho, so watch out for the walls. The passage that's suggested is Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 through 20. And they quote Joshua 6:2. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men." The story of Jericho's fall is both engaging and entertaining, a Sunday school favorite, but it has more to offer the church than we usually harvest. Enshrined in this story are 3 steps to Israel's success that can bring success to the church as well. First, Israel picked a worthy opponent. The book of Joshua tells the story of Israel conquering the land of Canaan. They engaged with strategic targets in a specific order, and Jericho was first on the list because it was vital to the rest of the plan's success. Plan's success. I didn't think plain sounded right. Of the plan's success. Joshua's eyes were on the larger goal of conquering the Benjamin Plateau, about 17 miles west of Jericho. The high plateau was like an ancient traffic circle for the interior crossroads of Canaan, and it was the key element in Joshua's plan to divide and conquer the cities of the interior. But to obtain the Benjamin Plateau, this fortified city superintended all the roads that radiated westward from the Jordan River, and it provided the last major spring before entering the waterless Judean wilderness. By all accounts, Jericho was a relatively small outpost, but it was the first and necessary target of Israel's assault. Second, Israel followed the Lord's unconventional battle plan. Had they followed the conventional military thinking, Israel had 2 options: either make a frontal assault on the city or enact a siege. The first option was fast but would cost many lives. The second option would spare soldiers needed for the battles yet to come, but could take months before exhausting Jericho's food and water supplies. The Lord's unconventional plan spared lives and was fast. But would Israel dare to follow such an eccentric battle plan with so much at stake? Absolutely. A signature feature of this story is its repetition. The Lord laid out the plan, Joshua 6, verses 2 through 5. Joshua and Israel followed the plan without changing or omitting a single detail. Chapter 6, verses 6 through 20. Third, Israel awaited a miracle. Whether that miracle was a perfectly timed seismic event in this earthquake-prone region, or a direct manipulation of the wall's foundation, Jericho's defenses collapsed. Israel expected it because the Lord had promised it. Joshua 6:5. I like that powerful, deep sentence. Israel expected it because the Lord had promised it. Let's mull that over. Think in all kinds of situations in life. Think about that. Israel expected it because the Lord had promised it. What are the promises of God He's made to us that we expect? And there's the difference sometimes, that we expect. This story from the past gives the church a path into the future. Pick a worthy opponent, follow the Lord's plan, and expect a miracle. What might we accomplish as God's people if we approached a fallen world the way Joshua approached Jericho? God's promises, God's plans obeyed. Expected, anticipated, and obeyed. We need to look at ourselves in the mirror, run through all the enemies that we see, that we think anyway, stand against us. And how are we battling them right now? We're battling them with man's ways, as Peter got castigated for by Jesus. Get behind me, Satan. You're thinking man's ways and not God's ways. That was his definition of Satan, thinking man's ways and not God's ways. Again, the church has complained a lot over the last few years about culture, about moral values. You name it, we've complained about it. But is that God's way of dealing with these things? I think not. Two questions. How do each of these steps apply to the church as it engages its mission? What were the three steps? Pick a worthy opponent. Follow the Lord's unconventional battle plan. And trust me, loving your enemies is an unconventional battle plan. And third, wait for a miracle. Wait for God to do what he has promised he will do. Trust him. Put it in his hands. Question number 2. Where have you seen a local church either succeed or fail in its mission because it followed or diverged from this outline? In other words, where have we tried to take things into our own hands? Or where have we put it in God's hands and let him do the rest? Here's the prayer for today. Heavenly Father, I pray that the church of today might learn from this story from the past. Success will follow naturally when we avoid distractions and face only worthy opponents. Honor your plan, unconventional as it may be, and then expect miracles. Help us to be that kind of church. Who are the worthy opponents? How have we been distracted from that? What's God's plan? Expect him to work his plan out as we allow him to. Blessings to you today on this Wednesday.